Okay. So this is what I realized. This is like my third, fourth attempt to record this video. And I realized that I can yap in one go. But when I rewatch it and I'm like, nahi, yeah, chal. Like last video recording jo thi, achhi thi. But I started off with a cough and I was like, bhai, matlab, nahi, wapas karna padega. That was not the point. The part of this video is ki, yeah, we're going to be talking about some advanced React stuff that I learned in the last 2 weeks. This is going to be an extension of basically the previous video, but it's more like an update basically. Last 2 weeks I've really gotten to know what are like the best design practices when it comes to React specifically. So I've been trying to implement them, and other than that, like काफी चीजें, with learning, with building, and all that. So we'll get to those later. Specifically when it comes to React, I want to keep the video to that, and baki updates will keep it at the end. So yeah, let's get into it. One of the things basically in React which I got to know is key custom hooks are a very important design pattern that are there. And based on that, I saw this video by Cosden Solutions. Great video. I absolutely loved it. 100% recommend it. If you're a React engineer, developer, jo bhi bulana hai, 100% watch this video. Really, like this whole channel, I started binge watching him, and I was like कितना कुछ नहीं पता था bro. Yeah, like matlab just okay, maybe not either say like can I watched this stuff here and there, and like once you get to know ki, theek hai, these are the custom hooks, like these, like the way React is intended to be used, is custom hooks. So you kind of like get to know ki, oh, all these libraries that are there which give you a hook, that's what essentially it is, right? And like that's how like they're adhering to React ke principles that are there. So something like can stack table jo hai. Just give an example, because one of the things I worked upon, like I was working on these last 2 weeks, was this, right? कि tank stack table पे like मेरे को कुछ काम करना था उस पे basically. अब उस पे in depth जाऊंगा वो अलग बात है. Yeah, let's just find an example. See, this is where you should be better prepared, when you're streaming or like whatever recording. Um, yes, thank you. Yeah, use React table. So that's a hook, right? It's given by Tanstack table as a package that's there. So in that sense, this is how React was intended to be used, and I think going forward, matlab, this is going to be my default. कि like hook, कुछ भी चीज़ है hooks बना दो, bro. And after watching this video, I was like, कहाँ गया भाई? Yeah. Wait. Yeah. So after watching this video, I was like, I have to implement this. So I implemented over here, which is one of my projects that are there, which is called Memer. It's supposed to be your one-stop meme workshop, where like there's a bunch of memes that are present. जहाँ पे you can search it up and here and click on it. You're like, oh, you can download it, save to collection. Edit meme is for me because I'm the admin of the platform. But other than that, basically you can save it to a collection like you save songs to a playlist. So for example, if you go to the Twitter collection, I've got a meme saved here, right? So like when I started off making this project, I ended up using context in a very weird way, to be fair. Like I saw that code, I was like, मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, bro? Like, what am I doing? So I was like, this is a perfect opportunity to refactor that. So yeah, let's come here. So this is the collections page, right? Dashboard, collections. No, sorry, this is not the collections page. This is the collections page. Yeah, so these are basically different collections, right? So over here, if you see, what I did first was use dashboard context and use loading context, which the reason I used this was I saw this being used at work, and I was like, oh, matlab, like at least when it comes to loading context, dashboard context, I was like, oh, it makes sense to use dashboard as a context for all these things back then. So when I got to know this, I was like, yeah, that was stupid. Change karo sabhi. So based on that, let me put it up here. Collections page. Yeah, there you go. Iske basis pe also, if you see, like if you can go down this component, you see a lot of these things, right? ये है, you can start with this like empty state के लिए. Then over here, these are supposed to be the collection cards, which are like this particular component. So these are like very manually written, which is not bad in some sense, but watching like Cosden Solutions ke videos, and then even like on time pay this repository, though this is an open source contribution that I talked about in the last video, and I'll get to this later. But I went like while going through these repos and all these videos and all, I was like, there are like every component has a name. You can see over here, and you're like, if any of these are not a component in itself, it's probably a bad idea, right? So I was like, oh, okay. So like, let's do this. If there are no collections, let's make an empty collections component itself. So right now over here, where is it? Yeah, like you have no corrections where I'm first checking ki theek hai, loading hai ki nahi, to load dikha do. Then like if the corrections length is like not like whatever 0 or not, uske basis pe show this. Instead of this, I was like, once I made the hook, I was like, listen, if it's loading, show the loader. If the collections are not there, you show them the empty collection state. And then over here, when you like basically you filter out loading state, no collection state. Now you're like, okay, now I do have collections, so let's show this. And like this is the component itself. Done. Much cleaner. I like looking at this code, and for me personally, it's not like a good metric or I don't know what, but when I see code which looks clean, I like it. I'm like, oh wow, this मतलब मन करता है bro उस पे काम करने का. So you know that's one of the refactoring things I did. In fact, specifically with regards to hooks, like I made a folder for it. Yeah, hooks ke liye, collections ke liye, and like each operation ke liye I've made a hook because I wasn't sure if like I should put all operations within one hook or like keep different hooks for different operations. And I thought ki, oh, maybe I might want to create a collection from somewhere else. So let's like you do it like each hook for each operation karke. So that's the approach I went with. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. So this is for custom hooks ka thing. And because I was diving into hooks and all, I got to know like a lot of custom hooks that not custom hooks, but like advanced hooks that React themselves give on their end, which you don't often see unless like you worked in a code base which uses that or see some video which uses that. So this is what I came across, one of the hooks that were there, which is use layout effect. It's basically definition that hey, right? It's use effect, but it runs before the browser paints the window. And I mean, yeah, this is there. Can hurt performance. Please use the effect when possible. But the one use case I saw this key, like let's say you're handling authentication on the client, right? So this is something you can use there where like before the browser paints the window or like the app loads or whatever, you can check authentication state, get whatever like if the user is logged in or not, uske basis pe then redirect or not. Basically uske baad ka logic you can handle. So this is one of the hooks that I liked. Then I went deeper into use reducer hook. That is not the right this one. So use reducer was pretty interesting actually, and I'm thinking to add this to Memer. I'm not sure. Let's see. The point is, this is the way I understood it. Like naam to hai use reducer, but the way I'm relating it to is that it helps you reduce a lot of operations which you would be handling with your use state k hooks and all, right? So for example, let's come here. Like over here, you can add a collection, right? But over here, like you go into a collection, you have the option to edit a collection. You have the option to delete a collection. So these are three different operations, right? Now, what use reducer can help you do is it exposes a dispatch function. I think you mentioned earlier. What this dispatch function does is key instead of now having three handlers for like deletion, editing, and creation, what you can do is key you can specify the type of event that you want to trigger, and that dispatch function will have like a switch statement essentially, right? Key okay, if we're telling if you want to create a collection, take a switch ka type is sorry, the type of the event is to create a collection, so you would run that function, edit collection, run that function, ऐसे करके. So in that sense, this is pretty cool. Then there is also like use imperative handle somewhere I saw, but I didn't really go much into that. Optimistic mutation is one of the things I learned recently, which was like, I was like, boss, this is pretty cool. You know what I mean? I don't know where the accent came from, but anyway. So yeah, use optimistic is a React hook that lets you optimistically update the UI. Now, what is optimistically update the UI? It's essentially you basically update the state on the client and make it look like it's updated in the backend also. So the use case of this is key, like user experience is nice. Key like oh, like instantly you updated and then backend page automatically like updates on its own. In case there's a failure, you revert the state. So that's where this comes in play. So like based on this hook, there's a lot of like other like I think TanStack query or sorry TanStack table kind of helps you do optimistic mutation, right? So I think we should be getting it. we're not getting it. So we're going to Google it. Optimistic mutation tan stack table. Right. There we go. Optimistic updates. Yeah. So all this is there basically, right? They exist, and all these libraries they implement this. Where I got to know this is, I was working on one of the tasks for on time, and that's where I got to know about this optimistic mutation thing. And I was like, this sounds too fancy. I have to like look into it. So yeah, that's like a lot of React stuff that I learned, and मतलब आगे जाके basically new stuff to keep implementing. Now that's for React. What else? Now मतलब is just gonna go off topic here and there कि like क्या चल रहा है. But yeah, so with regards to open source, I got in touch with the maintainer, and well, basically like there's some backlogs जो product पे है, and we're going to be working upon those, implementing like features here and there, or some refactor कुछ जो करना है. So that's going to be pretty cool. I think I want to contribute to this long term, and I'm getting the opportunity to contribute to this long term, right? Which is pretty great. And like this is something that people are using, which is great, dude. If you go to the website, it's like it's a software to manage rundowns and event timers. And like I joined the Discord group. Discord, did I say that correctly? Discord group or whatever. But sorry, no, wait, yeah. Yeah, so and like people are using it, right? People are talking in the Discord like, hey, matlab, this, that, whatnot. And it feels good. It feels like even the code base itself, it's super clean, it's super nice. I like that. If I understand this code base really well, I'll understand, I think, turbo repos in a much better way. I'll understand React in a much better way. And even an app that's like a CLI package, I believe. Yeah, there's all these things, right? Electron has spec has server. So it's a lot of stuff which I've not been familiar with, even though I have been working like concepts, right? So I guess I get the opportunity to learn this through this open source contribution thing and all that. So this is great. If like open source is great in general, and I want to keep contributing more. I've started like a lot of repositories where I'm like, these are things that people have been using, and there's like a lot of issues over here. So that's great. Yeah, why did I open this tab? Oh, I want to show the custom hooks thing. I was like, yeah, like this is the same on-time thing. I was working on the queue sheet table to implement something. But yeah, I saw basically point is key. This is like the default, right? Custom hooks guy. Use event action, use queue sheet options, all this. That's why I opened that tab. Anyway, what else has been up? I've been doing Docker actually, for I think this week only. No, I started it like last 1 week or something. And Docker is pretty easy to. It's not that hard. It's actually pretty cool. And like the fact that it's so easy to run and learn is like pretty cool. So that's what's been up. And I think Docker, after Docker happens, I also learned like some of continuous integrations that I've implemented. So yeah, you see this CI passing, and you basically make a .github, whatever you say, folder, and then you put it in workflows. And then over here, I'm basically running a build to check that if it's a successful build or not. And this is pretty cool. Like this you can do and just learn within like a day, which is pretty great, right? And so CI have been doing into, and then Docker I've been learning so that I can learn, CD, which is continuous development. And there's Kubernetes and all which come forward as moving on. So both those ka time aayega. Other than that, I also started watching Andrew Ng ka course for machine learning, which the first lecture is just setting up the class and whatnot. So I think from the second lecture it gets more serious. Last May they started with regression and all, not recursion. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And we've got plans, we've got like stuff to build and all that stuff to learn. In fact, the last, like I've done a few streams with 15 minutes, bro. I want to keep this a short video, but anyway. So we did a few streams where we played with the Canvas API to build like a banner for open graph images, which is something I want to be using quite a lot, right? So because of that, I got to learn about the Canvas API. Amazing, love it, like great. So yeah, and one of the things, I don't think I mentioned it, but like I started adding subdomains to my projects, which is a great thing, right? Even for quick banner, I think, yeah, quick, this thing that I was working upon. No, that is not all the shout out. But that is not quick banner dot show. Yeah, there you go. This was the banner project I've been working on. And still I'm working on it. But yeah, this basically, it's a quick tool to make open graph images. This whole thing was inspired from this one tool that I saw. I think it's called tailwheelgenerators.com, where one of the things is specifically this. I was like, if I could implement this myself, I'll like learn a lot of stuff, right? So it's a very similar interface and all. So that's all there. But I'm pretty happy with this, where you can add your own image over here. You can, like, for example, if I'm doing it for Memer, and this is like a Memer image, so I have to change that. That's there. And for example, like we can put this one stop meme workshop. Where is it? Yeah, one stop meme workshop, or like you can add it even better. Your one stop meme workshop, and then of course this becomes क्या कहते हैं, Memer itself, right? So then yeah, something like this, very simple, nice to look at, minimal, the way I like it. So this looks much neater, right? And of course, this is not like the final thing. I have to like, this looks a bit plain, so I do want to add like some stuff here and there to make it look a bit better. But yeah, that's what we've been doing, and it's been pretty fun. Where is the StreamYard kidhar hai? Yeah, we'll keep the video to that. It's already gonna like extend coffee. Moving forward with this recording, आगे के recordings, if I stammer or like बीच में मैं ज़्यादा तेज बोल रहा हूँ, don't mind me. Just either I get excited or I get nervous, either उधर whatever. But like, मतलब ठीक है. We live, we learn, we build, whatnot. ये सब करके चलो. Bye brothers.